Alright, well, it's obviously the next day. I'm at, like, some random coffee shop. I've been leaving early with Hannah in the mornings because she goes to work. So, I was up in the house before I could make my video, and the last time when I got home I was so tired. I just totally forgot. So, yesterday was awesome. I left with Hannah to work early, so I probably got into town at like 8:15 or something like that. But Hannah told me about this place called Little Venice, which is hilarious because I feel like everywhere in Europe has a Little Venice. She had to go to work, and then I got off at Paddington Station and walked around Little Venice. There's all these little waterways with longboats that people live on, so that was really pretty, and just like cute bridges, and yeah, these cool longboats people live on. I'm so jealous. They're so fun. And then you can continue walking along the waterway through Regent's Park to Camden. So I walked there, and it was just, again, this really beautiful canal, and at some point, like, the little longboat stopped, and there were these, like, massive, like, manor houses. I walked by the zoo and saw some fun birds in their, like, bird area, whatever, nets and stuff. And then got to Camden Market, which is just kind of like an artisan market. So there was a Starbucks there, so I just kind of sat and like worked on our Cornwall trip this weekend and kind of all that stuff for a little while. And then went to Camden Market and walked around and enjoyed just like looking at a lot of cool just like art and lots of people like selling food. It was just like a really eclectic place. A lot of interesting people and people playing music and lots of people out, which was really fun. From there, I walked further down into town. I lost my lens cap for my camera, which is bound to happen, of course. So I bought a new one of those and just kind of did some errandy things. Like I needed to bring back some chocolate for Brittany for one of her students. So I just like kind of took care of errands and stuff. And then I went to the National Gallery because I've been there a couple times with Darren and Elliot, with Andrea. But both times we had just done like the one wing with like the most famous stuff in it. So there was a Dali exhibit, Degas exhibit of his later works, like some of his pastels kind of work. And then there was a whole other stuff of like Raphael, Michelangelo, I wanted to say Donatello. I think he might have been a sculptor. I've seen some of his stuff, but it was like the guys who like really were in it were Michelangelo, Raphael, Michelangelo, not Donatello. Anyway, that other guy. So, but oddly enough, I was reading about them, and they all like kind of started out as contemporaries and like helped each other with their art and stuff, and then they all became like estranged and like violent enemies. So, anyway, they weren't besties like the Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo, Raphael. Nope, it's gone. Sorry, Ninja Turtle. Anyway, so did that for a little while, and then Cubby was supposed to land at 2:30. She landed at 2:30. It just takes a while to get into the city. So then we had plans to go to dinner at Dishoom, which is a really good and popular Indian place in town. So I went and got in line there because sometimes it can take like an hour. So I waited in line at Dishoom, sat down at Dishoom, no Cubby. After like maybe being there for 5 or 10 minutes, though, she showed up, so that was awesome. So we had a really nice Thanksgiving dinner together. Really, really good Indian food. Just like there was this curry that blew my mind. It was so good. So we had Dishoom, and then we went to see Kinky Boots, which it sounds weird, but it's actually a really sweet and inspiring story. It's about a shoemaker in Northampton, north of here, that was making men's shoes, and then the company was like going under. This guy's dad died. He takes over the company, and he's like, how are we going to stay afloat? And he happened to like run into a drag queen somehow, because he was like trying to help her out, but she was like tough. Anyway, and so he decided to like work with this drag queen to like make like sturdy women's boots. Anyway, they're like drag queenish. So, but it was like just a story about like being who you are and accepting other people, who they are, and loving yourself, and on top of that, it was like these crazy drag queens, and it was super fun. Anyway, so Cubby and I love that, and that's why I got home so late. But also just been staying with Hannah, so it was really fun to just got home and chatted with her and caught up, and her boyfriend Adam was there, and so I got to catch up with him. So, really, really good day though. Happy Thanksgiving.